We are back. Week 37 in the Premier League is upon us, and things are just as tight as they were. In fact, no, sorry, I don't need these. I need these because I'm on the beach. I warned you guys. I don't know why I'm on here, but okay, you know. I'm
you played like it in a European semi-final, Wolf. We have to say you did play like it.
Yeah, well, can we not start off with that European semi-final?
Look, right, this is a Premier League show, right? This is a European show. I can't actually see with these, so these are coming off.
All I heard guys, make sure you like. Another star is coming. We're going to get to the Europa League final, and then I heard you're never going on anyone's channel ever again.
I also heard someone shamelessly celebrate an Arsenal goal, and I saw someone shamelessly getting annoyed with the VAR. But we'll get into all of that. Guys, make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed to all 3 channels. We got West Ham Fan TV, we've got Forest Fan TV, and of course, we are Tottenham TV. All the links are in the description. And what do we want to start? Go on then, do your European thing, Ben. I know you've been waiting a week.
Yeah, if we go chronologically, we do start that with European semi-final.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because all I heard from you, Wolfie, is the stars are coming, Forest are back where they belong, back in the Champions League next year. What happened, Wolfie? 4-0.
We bottled it. We bottled it. Simple as that. We just didn't turn up. I mean, I could do your thing and say injuries. Half our first team were missing, but, you know, I don't do the whole injury thing. I think there was plenty on there to win the game, and I just think the tactics were wrong. I almost think being 1-0 up didn't help us. I think we went in with a negative mindset, tried to soak in some pressure. It was not how we've been playing. We've been playing on the front foot in recent weeks, and I think that cost us. It cost us. And not to mention as well, Villa shouldn't be in that competition because they're under sanctions from UEFA, but that's a whole other story. So, you know, it doesn't look like cheaters prosper after all.
I think you should find Nottingham Forest shouldn't be in that competition.
We're legally in that competition. You know, the case Cass sorted us out. So
you know, Wolfie, you're talking to 3 fans who've recently won European competition. I can tell you it's not as easy to win it as it seems, and I think you're just finding that out.
Well, you're talking to the only fan here who's actually won the proper European competition twice.
In the 80s, what was it, 70s? In the 70s.
You weren't even born, Wolfie. Come on, mate.
Does that mean it didn't happen, Nicky? Were you around for those days, Nicky? Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't know what it takes to win a modern day European competition.
Oh, it's modern day,
modern day.
The trophy PSG lifted looked very similar to the 2 we lifted, boys. That's all I'm saying.
We're talking about trophies in the last 3 years. You're talking about trophies, what, 35, 40, how many years ago?
50. Nearly.
50 odd years ago.
40. Hello.
I think football's changed a tiny bit.
A little more. Okay, well, if we want to talk about trophies, there's a good chance that one of you two will be lifting a trophy next season. The championship trophy.
You want to quickly move on from that, doesn't he?
Anyway, nice
little segue.
The question is, which 3 of you, should I say, are going to join me on the beach? I mean, can we start with the West Ham game, please? Because, my God, was there controversy there. I saw your video, Nicky, saying, you know, you're done with football and VAR and all of this stuff. I saw these two annoyed. They, for some reason, wanted West Ham to get a point, which I thought was, So you guys want Arsenal to lose the title more than you want Spurs to stay up. Absolutely shameless, man. But I got to come to you, Nicky, first. Like, my thoughts on it was a foul on the keeper. However, I think Declan Rice was fouling and holding 2 players before that. And I think Pablo was being held as well. So I think the chronological order for me should have been penalty, but therefore, because you scored from it, advantage played on and goal. But that was my take on it as a neutral on it, or somewhat neutral. How did you see it, Nicky?
That is exactly how I saw it. To be honest with you, I don't even think it was much of a foul, because when I can see why it was given, and I can see why it's a foul. But you look at it's not like he's pulling that arm. He's got his arm rested on him. Yeah, it was dodgy goalkeeping, but I think the point stands is that when Pablo's running in, if you look at Trossard, right, he is not even looking at the ball, and as Pablo's running in, he's already holding him. Yeah, so And the worst thing about it is, right, and I've just watched it. I've just listened to the microphone mic,
Yeah, I saw that.
and they pinpointed it. They pinpointed that Trossard thing, and they pinpointed the Declan Rice thing, and they just chose to ignore it. And that is why I'm done with the VAR stuff in this. And I'm sure the boys are going to have some VAR talk themselves, you know. But this is the thing. These are big weekends. These are big decisions. And from what I saw of the game, and I wasn't there, I was in Glasgow and I was watching it on the TV, we deserve to at least draw the game. At least. You know, we were better side probably in the second half at least. We had the better chances. Listen, we fluffed one. But then you get to the end and you equalise like that. And then to listen to the referees openly discussing the things that everybody else in the country is saying. Look, he's doing this and he's doing that. And then when you go back to the Arsenal thing and you look at, and they openly discussed it, and the referee went, no, I'm just giving the free kick. It makes me feel sick because this is not what it was designed to do. You know, it isn't designed to ignore some things and watch other things. You know, they are clear and obvious errors. Was the goalkeeper thing a clear and obvious error? But it is exactly that. If you don't want to go back and give a penalty, look at the foul, advantage given, goal, done. It's done.
I'm not being funny, Nicky, but they've ignored things like this with Arsenal all season. All season with Arsenal, they've been favouring them. Only a few weeks ago when they played Man City, Gabriel literally headbutts Haaland.
I know.
Given he should be out for 3 games, and nothing. You know,
I
it's been
saw
happening all season.
the Chelsea thing when Arsenal played Chelsea, and the amount of fouls that are going on there. There is a guy that he's got his arms held down like that, right? And someone's got his arms around him, and it's like that. So he's like that. So the guy can't. You can try and jump like that. You look like a sausage, yeah. So you can't jump, right? The same incident. The goalkeeper also punches him in the face. Now, Wolfie, what happened when our goalkeeper punched your player in the face?
We got a penalty.
Penalty. So there we go. These are the things that piss me off because how can some things, but the same fouls and the same things be ignored one game and given the next game? I don't understand it.
If you watch that VAR thing, it really shows you the incompetence and the lack of communication between the VAR and the referee. Because as you pointed out, Nicky, they saw the fouls, all the other stuff going on. You hear the assistant VAR saying, okay, there is a foul on Ray, which by the way, I did think it was a foul because not only is Pablo got his arm on him, but there's also Tadebo's pulling his shirt behind him. So he's being fouled by 2 players. So I do think it is a foul, but the assistant VAR saying, okay, we're looking at this Ray thing. What about Rice at the back post? What about Trossard's foul? And they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to send this to the monitor. We're going to get the referee to look at it. But what they did is, if you notice, they only showed the referee the fouls at the point of when Raya was fouled. They didn't show the whole sequence. So the referee's looking at it like, what am I looking at? You hear the referee like, what am I looking at? What you showing me? What you showing me? And they're like, oh, Trossard's fouling Pablo. And he's like, well, I don't see anything. And the VR is like, all right, well, the referee doesn't think it's a foul, so it's not a foul. It's like, no, you didn't show him the foul.
Yeah, you
showed him
exactly.
You have to go back a couple of seconds just to show him that Trossard is being pushed basically into the goalkeeper, which is forcing Pablo to basically foul Raya. And so I like the lack of communication. Why doesn't VAR take it back? VAR should be go, okay, just watch this, take it back a few seconds, and then you see the whole sequence of where the foul starts. But they didn't show that. So I think to be fair to the ref, what he was seeing, I think he made the right call, but the VAR didn't show him exactly what was going on. And that just goes to the lack of communication. And I think you're right, Wolfie, when you say it should have been pulled back for a penalty, because even though it's a foul on Ray, because we saw this at Anfield. The goal, didn't we? The goal went in when the ball went all the way from the halfway line into the goal, even though Szoboszlai pulled back Haaland and then Haaland pulls back Szoboszlai. So the VAR intervenes and rules out the goal, but he still sends off Szoboszlai and goes back to a free kick because that incident happened before that, and that was leading to it. So there was precedent for, even though the goal being ruled out, you still punish the initial offence. And so that didn't happen at the London Stadium, and I think West Ham definitely should have had a penalty in the last minute. But I think the end of the day in that West Ham game, you'll be looking back at that Fernandes chance, won't you? That is the moment.
Yeah, that's
It's
the one.
very similar to the Son moment against Man City a couple of years ago. I think
Yeah.
that if that goes in, I think you win the game.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
think
boys
so.
celebrate that Sun miss, by the way?
The Son miss. I was worried when he went through.
Sim was standing next to me and he did a very audible "oh no" when Son goes 1-on-1 with the keeper.
That was my instinct. In terms of what happened at the London Stadium, I think in hindsight, given the fact that we'll talk about the Leeds game in a moment, but how we struggled and got only a point against Leeds, we probably shouldn't have been so wanting Arsenal to get wanting West Ham to get a point in that game. Obviously, within that,
we got ahead of ourselves.
We definitely got ahead of ourselves.
We got ahead of ourselves.
Obviously, when you think about it, before the game, a draw keeps us above West Ham, stops Arsenal in the league, potentially the best of both worlds. But I think, as we've said before, we're just not used to being in this situation down at the bottom. So we don't realize how valuable 1 point can be. And I think we're now seeing after the set of results how valuable that a point that the West Ham loss could be in the relegation fight come the last 2 games, because it's really going down to the wire now, and it's 50-50.
Has it made a difference though, Nicky? Because the situation is, even if you drew, you were still in the bottom 3 because of the goal difference.
Situation's the same. Situation is the same. Even
when
after the game.
You say that the point could be a massive difference, because whatever happens, if we get a point against Chelsea, that keeps us above water going into the last game.
Yeah, it could, but we have to, to look at it. But as far as I was concerned, it's the same. It's the same, because I think we just need 2 wins. I think we need 2 wins, and that is the end of the day. I think and I said that before the Arsenal game. I think 2 wins would keep us up, and we still need 2 wins. So it's one of them ones. But it's Tottenham fans got very, very much ahead of themselves, because I was looking at forums and stuff, and it was like after they beat us, it was like, well, that result is probably just guaranteed. No, not probably. It's just that Woolwich result has just pretty much secured our Premier League place. But how do you all feel? And I'm like, well, is he looking at the same face? Like, you got to remember, there's a fucking game tonight. There's a game tonight, and everybody presumed he was going to win it. I was not convinced he was going to win it at all. And I know Wolfie wasn't convinced he was going to win it. Like, it's only Tottenham fans that thought this is a winnable game. I know you've had 2 wins, but you've got to remember the situation where you've come from and where you've been, and you've got to remember the teams you just played to get them 2 wins was Wolves, who didn't lay down, and they're already relegated, and an Aston Villa side that was basically fucking walking around the pitch, walking. So you have to listen. I think it's lifted the confidence of Tottenham. I think bits were better, but ultimately, you weren't good enough on Monday. Sorry, and this is where we are. This is where we are as a collective of clubs. We sometimes we're not good enough, and I think a lot of boys forgot about that. But I would say this, and it obviously going to talk about it. It was good to see James Maddison come back. That was a good point in that game. So yeah, but listen, it's all to play for in these last 2, and I've got to say this, boys. I think we showed more fucking grit than you.
I think, look, with the Spurs performance against Leeds, I don't think it was a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination. I think, we gave as good as we got for the most part, but we were the masters of our own downfall. We go 1-0 up. It was a very tight game up until that moment, until we went 1-0 up. Matty's tail with an unbelievable goal. But then 20 minutes later, he's bloody overhead kicking Ampadu in the head in the box. I mean, we were the complete masters of our own downfall. And I think if he doesn't do that, I do think we go on and win that game. So it was a very tight game against a very good Leeds side as well. So we could have won it. We could have lost it. A draw was probably a fair result.
You should have lost it, mate. That save from Kinky.
Yeah, it was fucking unbelievable.
It was, he made 2 of them on the day. One in the first half from Joe Rodon, one in the second half as well. But look, we had our chances in the first half. We were definitely the more dominant side in the first half. I think once we conceded, we kind of shut the bed a little bit. And
but that's the problem.
And
that's what I've seen from Tottenham all season. You concede, and then you sort of look at each other thinking, "Oh, what the fuck do we do now?" And like at the end of the day, that save has kept you in the game. because that's you're saying you could have won it, you would have won it. There was enough Leeds chances to win the game, and they're meant to be on the fucking beach.
Yeah, it's true, but you also got to look at it at 1-0. We had a gilt-edged chance with Richarlison. If he puts that away and we're 2-0 up, then we do,
I believe
could have gone
so.
both ways. Could have gone both ways.
But I think that's the shit the bed moments. We had the Fernandes chance and you had your chance. So
yeah,
there we go.
This is why
but we should have had a penalty in the 90th minute, in the last minute of the game. We should have had a penalty. We should have had a penalty.
Talk us through why. Then.
Because Maddison takes it past Nemechi. He gets the ball, by the way, Maddison. It's not Nemechi who touches it, and he gets brought down.
No.
And he gets brought down right in the box. The VAR doesn't give the penalty because they think Nemechi touches the ball. When he doesn't touch it, he doesn't. There's a new angle that shows he doesn't touch the ball. It's conclusive.
Oh, a new Spurs angle, is
There's
it?
a new Spurs angle. It's not angles aren't specific, Wolfie. They're just angles.
Angles
you can
don't support anyone.
Exactly. Angles don't support a team. They are just an angle.
So this new angle came out recently, like breaking
after
news.
The game, day after the game. Yeah, it was a day after the game.
Came out on Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
Well, what I thought was interesting was the offside angle.
Nemechi doesn't touch the ball. He goes over.
He touches the ball.
No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
He touches the ball.
He doesn't touch the ball. I'm telling you, he doesn't touch the ball. You haven't
all
seen
right, Sim, you've told me, therefore I'll take your opinion.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm going to say this then, all right, about that incident. We've just said that, right? And we said this earlier, that what the VAR showed the West Ham referee, he's got to give the goal, right? Well, if that's the angles that, because I thought he touched the ball, because I watched it, and Wolfie thought he touched the ball. They're only giving him them angles in. And how was he meant to? It looks like he touches the ball.
You're right.
They looked at it for 20 seconds, if that. You know what I mean? They gave it no time of day.
We can't complain that they take too long, and then when they get to a quick decision, we can now complaining that they're going too quick.
Okay, complain with a quick decision if they get it right. Not if they get it wrong, then of course you're going to complain.
But you got it right. If you look at the replay he saw, when the Leeds player's foot comes back down, that's when you can see the deviation in the angle on the ball.
Because Maddison touched the ball, not Nemecha. Maddison hit it to the side.
Did the ref see this magical Spurs angle?
I don't know if VAR had it. Maybe they should have. They should have asked the social media team. There's billions of pounds in the Premier League, and they don't have the right angle. It's ridiculous.
Look,
I think the referee should have given the penalty on the pitch anyway. I think, and then let VAR deal with that. I think it was a penalty. The referee against Leeds was scared to give any decision. He didn't even give the tell one initially, which I thought was bonkers. And he had to wait for VAR to give that one. He was scared to make any decision. He's leaning on VAR. That one, I think all the Tottenham fans could see that was a penalty. You were right by the incident. I think he got brought down. And we haven't had a single penalty this season. Not one penalty. And it's continuing again.
Because your attack is shit, mate.
It's part of it. It's part of it. But we've had like the 11th most touches in the box in the league, and yet no penalties.
But boys, this comes back to what I told you a couple of weeks ago. At the bottom, when you're in a relegation fight, whether you like it or not, whether your badge has a little chicken on a ball or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You've got to get the shit done on the pitch. Take your chances. Make VAR and penalties. A side talking point. That it doesn't matter. You've gone and got your second goal. That Richarlison scored it and made it 2-0, and then he could have been laughing about whether or not this was a penalty or not.
Yeah.
This is the problem. It doesn't matter about the decisions. Yes, they'll anger us as fans, and we'll be split on what we think. But the bottom line is you are here for a reason. I still don't think this is getting through to the Spurs fan base, right? The problem isn't that you got screwed by a VAR decision. The problem is you've not been good enough on the pitch. You've almost got to make your peace with it. You almost got to go into the mindset, which I've done a lot of times as Forest fan. I'm sure Nicky has done it as well, that we are not getting a penalty this game. We are not getting the decisions going our way. These 11 on the pitch have to go and do it. There are times where I can see blatant stuff for Forest I think it's a penalty, and I know any other team would get it. And in my biased opinion, I'm like, we're not going to get it because it's Forest, right? We all think like that. So you got to sort it out on the pitch, boys. Like crying about all this stuff. And I'd say the same like with Nicky. I would be more annoyed if I was a West Ham fan at Fernandez's miss than I would be at what happened, because that's almost a sliding door moment, because it was 0-0 at the time. West Ham go 1-0 up. Nuno, renowned for being able to lock out a 1-0 scoreline throughout his career. That's what he's built results on. We're not talking about West Ham having a point here. We're then talking about West Ham with 3 points out of the relegation zone, heaping heaps of pressure under Spurs. Forest would still be in this because mathematically we could then still be caught. That's how big a moment that Fernandes miss was. So I just got to think we got to step away. Yes, we're going to be annoyed at VAR. We're going to be annoyed at penalties and everything. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We can't retrospectively go back. Even if it was a penalty, nothing can change now. Even if it shouldn't have been given as a foul for West Ham, nothing can change. We are where we are now, and one of you's going down.
Yeah, I agree. You can't rely on anyone but yourselves. And, you talk about the Fernandes chance and the VAR at the end of the Arsenal game. I think the same about the Richarlison chance and the VAR for Maddison as well. You got to put away your chances when you get them. And if you don't, you're not going to win football matches. That's end of. That's it.
Well, let's push this forward then into this weekend because this is tasty, boys. And I've just seen that. I think West Ham are playing Newcastle first.
Mm-hmm.
That could be huge. And it could be good for West Ham and it could be good for Spurs. If West Ham can go there, if my maths is right, and win it, that takes them out of the relegation zone, with Spurs going to a ground where historically you've been rubbish at Stamford Bridge. Or if West Ham lose this game, Spurs put themselves in a position where if they go and beat Chelsea or even technically draw with them because of the goal difference, you put yourself safe. Like, let's start with you, Nicky, because your team's up first. How are you looking at this game, and is that pressure going to pile itself on the West Ham boys?
No, I don't think so. I think we go out and give our best performance because I think the boys are more used to it. They've been playing for longer in this situation. They've been playing for probably longer than anyone in the league in this situation. In the bottom three, know what they've got to do. Know they've got to win, and it's getting down to the point where we know what we've got to do. We have to, that performance last week against Arsenal, I think it was fantastic performance by West Ham. They put in everything they could, and that's where we are, and that's against the league leaders. So we have to keep on doing it. Listen, if we don't do it, and that sort of stuff happens, then it happens. As I said before, I think the fans have resigned themselves 6 months ago to that we're going down. So the fact that we're in this position now, I think is good, but I think the players know what they got to do. And I think they're going to look at that game and they're going to look at that Arsenal performance and they're going to think, right, boys, we put 2 more in like that, we'll win them 2 games. Simple as that.
How do you see it with Newcastle? The bit of an uptick in form recently, but obviously poor season. Like, do you see that as a winnable game, or do you think it's going to be very difficult to go there and win?
I don't think you can look at any game as a winnable game in your situation because your mindset affects your performance. So we have to have the right mindset. Listen, because of their form and because of their poor season, we could very well go there and win. We shit the bed and we're going to lose. Simple as that. It's not really down to that other team's mindset. It's your mindset. You've got to have a stronger mindset going into these 2 games than the other team in front because them 2 teams ultimately are not playing for anything. They're not playing for anything. So all they've got on their minds is we've got to win this game. But our players have got to win. We've got to win this game to stay in the league, and that's where you've got to look at it, and that's where you've got to, and you'll win them. But
the thing is, Nicky, I can give you some insight. Obviously, I played Newcastle last week. Control Bruno G.
Yeah.
You control Newcastle. It's that simple. He's a quality player, and I think Newcastle got a really good team. It's just not quite ticking at the moment. They create too much against us.
I think there's a lot of stuff going on about Newcastle at the minute because there's a few of their players looking to get out the door.
Yeah.
And Tonali's one of them. And I think Bruno G may be one of them as well. So,
Vissa hasn't worked out for him. I think Baltimore, or whatever his name is eye to eye with Eddie Howe.
But you played Newcastle, as you say, last week, Wolfie. But wouldn't you say that Newcastle for about 70 minutes were much the better team until maybe
because Bruno G was on the pitch when he came off? We were able to get ourselves back into it. But having said that, even though they were in control of the game, they weren't really, bombarding us with chances. Sells didn't have to have the game of his life. He had a really good game, but it wasn't like, goal line clearances or anything like that. The whole tempo of that game was a beach match from Forest and Newcastle. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like anyone was putting too much extra effort in. Obviously, Elliot Anderson got his goal late on against his former club, but it just never felt like the game got out of second gear for me, if I'm being honest with you boys. And I just think both teams were quite happy to go there with a point. And this is a Newcastle team that I don't think now can get Europe. There's an outside chance they can do it, but I just don't think
I want to
what
finish
they
below
had
Sunderland,
last
though.
season is there this season in terms of that connectivity and that kind of force that they had going forward last year. I agree with Nicky. There's a lot of players who may be playing for a new club next season or just quite done with the Eddie Howe project. I think you can go there and get a win. Nuno's got a really good record in certain recent games against Newcastle. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nicky, you beat him at Upton Park 3-1, didn't you, earlier in the season?
I wish. It was a London Stadium.
Sorry, London Stadium.
Yes, I believe we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and
you won at St James's Park last season as well.
We've had a record up there, to be honest.
And we beat them 3-1 at St James's Park in one of Nuno's first games. So it can be done. It can be done, and I think there's a chance. It's just West Ham convert any chances there?
Your lighting's gone off, Wolfie, by the way.
Yeah, I've turned it back on.
The thing is, there's a few things going into this because it is Newcastle's last home game of the season. They do want to finish above Sunderland. I do think it's going to be a big atmosphere there. Newcastle, in their last home game, did beat a very good Brighton side quite convincingly 3-1. And West Ham, they've been very good at home, but away from home, I think West Ham have been pretty poor. That second half performance against Brentford last week was a shambles. The 0-0 against Palace, I don't think you were very good. 2-0 against Aston Villa, I think was one of your poorest displays of the season. So actually away from home, I don't think West Ham are turning up too much.
Also, Newcastle, different team with Bruno Tonali and Joelinton together. And they've only been together for the last two games, and you've seen better performances in those last. It's
not going to be easy. And St James's Park is a loud stadium, and those fans are good. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but West Ham put themselves in a position where it doesn't matter. They have to now go and win this one. And I almost think that mindset is going to be crucial. And I don't know if you'd agree with me or not, Nicky, but you've probably seen enough of Nuno now to know that he's a pragmatic manager who thinks a clean sheet is the starting point and then go and win a game 1-0 or what have you. He can't go into this game with that mindset. You may as well, he's better off winning this 5-4, than drawing 0-0 kind of thing. Yeah. So I think you're going to see a different mentality going into this game from West Ham because Nuno can't use his kind of plan A card. He's got to go with the plan B card.
Yeah, I agree. Look, listen, we've got to go and win it. We've got to go and win it. So
I think Spurs and West Ham have got similar issues. Like when we both go 1-0 down, it's not good for either of us. You saw going 1-0 down at Brentford after a good first half performances, you guys fell apart. We haven't overturned a 1-0 deficit all season. So I think the first goal matters incredibly, massively in both these games, don't they?
Yeah. Hugely. I don't know. Should we do quick predictions on this game before we move to the Spurs game? Go on. Let's give it to the Spurs boys. Let's start with them. How are you seeing this one? Let's see if we get a head or heart prediction.
I'm going to go 1-1. I think it's going to be a draw. I think I've got a sneaky feeling West Ham going to take something from the game. It's literally do or die for West Ham this game. Because if they lose, Spurs just need a point from 2 games to secure safety. So this is literally it for West Ham. So I'm going to go for 1-1. I think we'll see a performance from West Ham.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-2, and I think Newcastle will be winning up until late on, and they love to concede a late goal. They've done it, I think, in their past 5 or 6 games. Every game they're conceding in the last 10 minutes. So I think it's Newcastle will dominate for majority. They'll go 2-1 up, and then West Ham, right the death, will get a goal from a corner or something, take a point away from St James's. 2-2.
Mavropanos.
I've got a sneaky feeling West Ham win this comfortably.
Oh, don't say that, Wolfie, you bastard.
Comfortably, yeah. I think they get an early goal. Then Nuno sits back a little bit and they hit him again on a counter. I think West Ham win this 2-0. I can see Nuno's got it's not been bad against Newcastle. I can see 2-0 West Ham.
If West Ham win this game, that puts Spurs under immense pressure.
Huge pressure.
Into that Chelsea game, man. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to be able to handle that pressure. I just got to bank on Newcastle to do the job for us. I would love it, absolutely love it, if they beat you.
We're still in this fight, eh? Nicky, how you seeing it?
I said the same. I was thinking the same thing. 2-0. 2-0 to us.
Wow, really?
2-0. God, they're
To Newcastle.
Jeez.
No, to us.
Just checking.
Well,
You
I
going
was
up
a
there,
mistake
Nicky?
last week when I've sent West Ham down, even though I've spent the whole show telling everyone that they're going to survive. And then he asked me, who's going down? I said, West Ham. I thought he said, who's staying up? Oh, yeah.
2-0. Okay.
That was the pina coladas talking,
I
Nicky.
think
Went
that
on the
was,
beach.
mate. Yeah, you're very, very much so.
So then we'll move on to you guys are playing Sunday. Are you playing Sunday?
We're playing Tuesday. West Ham
Tuesday.
playing Sunday. We're playing Tuesday.
Oh, this whole week.
Chelsea have an FA Cup final.
Oh, they've got the
on
FA Cup. Of course
Saturday.
they have. Yeah, they're losing now, hopefully. But do you think the outcome of the West Ham result then has a bearing on how you guys approach the game, if that makes sense?
There's a lot of anxiety in the Spurs fan base because in the last 2 games, we go to a ground where we have a horrible record. We constantly shit the bed and we hate going to. And we also go to Chelsea away as well. Which we all know we don't have a great well, I don't know what's worse, our home form over 19 games or our form away at Chelsea.
You won one home
terrible.
game since August.
We've won
One
2
home
games in 19. If you extrapolate that, I don't know what that is over.
How long
many
has the
times?
Premier League been going for?
37 weeks.
90. No, in the years.
Oh, 92. Oh, 92, yeah.
I think we've won 2 games at Stamford Bridge since 92.
Bloody hell.
So the same amount.
Similar amount of home games. We're basically just as bad. Basically, we're going to 2 grounds we have horrible records in. So that
Are you looking for a petition to move the Tottenham ground into the West Midlands? Because that's the only place you guys seem to be getting results.
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. But in terms of what I agree with what Ben said, I think the pressure on us to if West Ham do win that game and we go into that game in the relegation zone, you saw what the pressure did to us late in that Leeds game when we conceded that goal. All of a sudden we started to panic. All of a sudden the composure, the passing goes completely out the window, and we start to play it long. We start to not put our foot on the ball, and we start to panic where people are pressing us. And the whole point of De Zerbi ball is you invite pressure so that you use your composure to get past the press, and that completely got abandoned against Leeds. And the worry for me is Chelsea would love nothing more than to stick the knife in at Tottenham against Tottenham. We know that Battle of the Bridge 10 years ago this season, isn't it? Similar, well, pretty much similar time. 10 years ago, they were playing for nothing. They were 10th in the league. They had a shocking season, turned up against Tottenham in that game and stuck the knife in. And I'm sure, even though Chelsea are on horrible form, they've lost 6 of the last 7 games. They've got an interim manager, in charge at the moment, and they're 3 days after a cup final. So all those points, you would say that's in Tottenham's favour. But the one thing you can't quantify is the hatred, that rivalry, the being at Stamford Bridge at that time of the season against Tottenham. We know every season, doesn't matter how Chelsea are playing, they turn up for that game and they put everything into that game. And Chelsea fans will probably forgive a lot of what Chelsea are doing if they just win that game and relegate us. If they do that, it was like they celebrated that Battle of the Bridge. They celebrated that game more than some of their title wins.
Yeah,
that's the reality. They celebrated that game like they won the league.
I
heard a guy,
FA Cup champions as well.
I heard a guy on TalkSport yesterday saying he'd give back the Roman Abramovich years to relegate Tottenham.
It's ridiculous.
I guarantee you, if you ask a Chelsea fan, would they rather win the FA Cup final or beat us? I'm telling you, a lot would say beat us.
They've been, but look, they've been utter dross, and in looking at how they've been playing, just take away all the things outside, all the things outside of the rivalry. I'm not actually scared of going to Chelsea. They seem to be completely lost at the moment. They seem to be all over the place, and they seem to be a team you can definitely get. And I actually think how Chelsea set up and how they play is probably more suited to us rather than Leeds, because Leeds are going to be compact, strong, organised, and they're going to, not give us time and space. Whereas Chelsea are probably going to come at us and they're going to leave space in behind, and they're going to try and win the game. They're going to try and embarrass us. So I think that's probably more suited to De Zerbi ball. But when you just look at those things that that in football there are just things that almost seem certain, and Tottenham losing at Stamford Bridge is just almost a certainty at this point. It just happens every single season, and the reality is Chelsea do have good players. So if they do turn up, and if they are on it on one game, if they just turn up for one game, they can beat, or they probably will beat us, because when you got the likes of Caicedo and Reece James and João Pedro and whatever, Pedro now, these are very good players who are better than our players, if we're being honest. So if they turn up and they're on their game, it's going to be very difficult for Tottenham. We just got to hope that the Chelsea that have turned up for the last 2 months turns up at Stamford Bridge, and not a Chelsea who are, before that.
Yeah, but Sim, the thing you're doing here is projecting onto the other team. Like, I'm not saying you do. I've seen it a lot in the Spurs fan base. Chelsea are doing this, Newcastle are doing the other, Villa are doing this, that, and the other. Yeah. The focus needs to be on Spurs. Spurs need to do this.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Nicky's there saying it doesn't matter. West Ham need to win. West Ham need to win. Where I think a lot of the Spurs fan base are getting these mad calculations going on that if this happens, then that happens.
Wolfie,
and then
you got to look at
Chelsea...
it from our perspective. The only way we've won in the last 6 months is because of the other teams have been absolute dross. Chelsea,
but it doesn't matter then. It doesn't matter if that's the case, then you guys should give up now. You guys should give up now. You guys are in the stronger position than West Ham. You guys have the better players, potentially, some would argue, than West Ham. You guys have to get your team's mindset right. You got to get the team's mindset right. You got to stop with this whole Chelsea are going to do this, and they've, the FA Cup. Will they be drunk, or will they be, freaking dejected off the back of it?
We got to take any sort of win that we can get. We need to take any sort of tool that we can get.
The things in football happen. Forest hadn't won at Anfield in 40 odd years, and we've gone and won back-to-back games there at Anfield. Like, football can change in these things. And you could make that. Forest played Chelsea a week ago. They were utter shit. We wiped the floor with them at Stamford Bridge. It was one of the easiest games with our B team. And then you see Chelsea going to Liverpool, and everyone expected Liverpool to turn them over and slap them up. I thought Chelsea actually played quite well in that game. It's all going to be on what Spurs do. Spurs need this win more than Chelsea.
That shows the mindset. That shows what the fans really think. Like, subconsciously, they're looking at them games thinking, well, if Chelsea don't, you should be confident of your team going there. That's that. I mean, subconsciously, I think that's what the difference is.
The problem is we've had very good Tottenham teams go to the Bridge and even the best of form, the best of confidence, and still not get the results. So I understand.
I was expecting you to come on here, Sim, and be like, you know what? Madison got 15 minutes at the end of the game. He looked sharp. He looked lively. Even if we get him on for 40 minutes or half an hour, that could be enough to change the game. We hold the game till 0-0, then bring Madison on for the last day. I was expecting that coming onto the show today, and all I've heard is Chelsea this, Chelsea that, Chelsea the other, which makes me feel that you already think you've lost this game.
No, I don't think that. I just think history always weighs very heavy on Tottenham. History seems to matter. It goes back to that Chiellini quote, the history of the Tottenham. Like, and that is, going to the Emirates, going to Stamford Bridge, being trophyless. I know we broke that last year, but definitely the weight of the history of this club, it weighs down on the fans, and it's weighed down on the club in certain fixtures. So I always believe, like, when we have these kind of fixtures, obviously that's where our mind goes to, because we've just had a long and hard history of not doing well here. But I agree with you. The reality is, under De Zerbi, whatever you want to say about, Villa didn't turn up, Wolves aren't that great, whatever, he's had 5 games, 1 loss, 2 draws, 2 wins. We are playing much, much better than we were before De Zerbi came in. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still not like an amazing team, and we're still got lots of flaws, and we're still, we're still not great. I think we're still in a position where we've got lots of injuries and we're struggling. But De Zerbi has turned around the mood, and he's turned it into a positive mood. We're now much more competitive in games. Defensively, we're not conceding the level of chances we were, and we do look like scoring and creating odd more chances as well. And I said before, I do think the way Chelsea play is a bit more suited to us than the way Leeds play. So I do see us potentially, if we turn up and we play like we did against Brighton and we did against Villa, if we turn up against Chelsea playing in that confident way, then we can definitely go there and get a result. And we do have the 3rd best away record in the league, amazingly. I don't know how we have that, but we have the 3rd best away record in the league. So we are very, very confident away from home.
Tottenham in a nutshell, mate. 3rd best away record, 19th best home form. But how does that even make sense?
Well, most of that was under Thomas Frank.
I tell you what, though, this is our best chance ever since we last won there to win at Stamford Bridge. This is the best chance that we're ever going to get.
I think if Chelsea come after us, that'll suit us. I think if they
Maybe
come
your
into this
last
thinking,
chance to play Chelsea as well. Yeah.
oh, don't say that. If Chelsea come in with the mentality of we're going to get at them and go after them and we're going to embarrass them and stick the knife in, I think that will suit us, because I think the way De Zerbi likes to play, he likes to invite that pressure, and then he likes to exploit the space in behind. Now, do we have the players to exploit it? That's a different thing. But in terms of how we like to play, I definitely think it will actually suit us. And also, you got to remember they are 3 days after a cup final. We're going to have an 8-day break.
You're doing it against him. You're doing it again.
No, but I'm just talking about the state of the game. We're going to have we are going to have an 8-day break in between our last games, so we should be a lot fresher than them. So we should have the energy to press them and they maybe will tire a bit quicker than we will. And as you said, I think if we can keep it tight up until the last stages and get Maddison on the pitch, I did think he looked all right. I'm not saying he's still clearly not 100%, but he definitely gave us something extra.
Talented, yeah.
He gave us that
more quality
composure,
than
the
anyone
ball,
else does on the
exactly.
pitch, yeah.
So he could maybe do something in that last half an hour. So I think I'm definitely more confident in this game than I have been at other games going into Stamford Bridge because of our history. But it is, at the end of the day, it is still Stamford Bridge. And we, as Tottenham fans, we can't get away from that, I guess. That's in our minds. It's always there.
Let me give you my take on it, and then I'll bring Ben in. Like, I hear what you're saying on everything you've just said from the Chelsea perspective, from the Spurs perspective. I think all of it don't mean shit. I think the only thing that dictates how this game goes is the West Ham result. I think if West Ham win, you guys are not just going to feel the Stamford Bridge pressure, you're going to feel the relegation pressure. I think if West Ham lose, you're actually going to go there and turn up and you could end up safe. I don't know what happens in a draw scenario, but I guess we can figure that out. I just think all Spurs' eyes, including the players, including the manager, will be on that West Ham game. That's how I see it. If West Ham win that game, I see you losing quite comfortably at Chelsea. But if they don't, then I think you do turn up.
If West Ham lose, by the way, we only need a point.
Yeah,
don't we? We only need a point to stay up.
I don't disagree with that, Wolfie. And I wished we were playing first this weekend, because that West Ham game is just gonna. I just wish they just don't watch it, don't look at the score, don't do anything. But we all know that's not going to be the case. And you're completely right. If West Ham do go and win at Newcastle, the pressure is going to be too much for these players to take. We've seen them crumble under the pressure time and time again this season. However, if West Ham go get a draw there, if West Ham lose there, then I think the ball is firmly in Spurs' court, and I think it'll be a weight lifted off, and I think we can go and do something. I think we're going to go there and take a point. And
Let me ask you this, boys: if we go into the last game with a point difference, would you rather be away than at home?
Probably.
Depends who it's against. I think I'd rather be away from home, regardless of what the point difference is. To be honest,
we haven't won
that last game. When you think about Everton have got one of the better away records in the league.
I think, yeah, Nicky, what you've been saying, throughout the whole stream, it's all about mentality and psychology at this level, and the psychology right now is we haven't won at home since December, and don't get me, and you don't think that's going to be playing in the players' minds going, let's say, as you say, it's a point difference going to the last game. That's, of course, there's going to be articles written about it. Oh, Tottenham need to win, and they play at a ground they haven't won since December. All these things, all the pressure is going to pile on them, and I do think we play a bit more under pressure potentially at home than away from. Although Brighton, it wasn't the same, but definitely in the Leeds game, it was a bit more nervous energy about the team, especially a bit more nervous energy about the crowd when things start to go against us. So definitely, I think, given the fact just our form this season has been so much better away from home, I think the players probably would be more comfortable playing away from home on that final day, I would say. And it does worry me a bit. We have to play at home in a weird way. But then again, De Zerbi, has to win at home at some point, you like to think, and he would think it is an opportunity. Get your first home win on the last game for him.
It could be wrapped up by then, though. It very well could be. If Newcastle do the business, then it very well could be. A point at Stamford Bridge is all we need.
Do you think we get a point, Nicky, if you lose? Do you think we get a point at Stamford Bridge? You don't think so? You think regardless we're going to lose? Let me put it this way. If we both draw, and we go into the final day only needing a point at Everton, would you take that scenario, Nicky? Do you think that scenario you can still come out on top?
Yeah.
You
have to take any scenario. At the end of the day, I think if as long as you've got a chance I think you take it. I think, and that's But I think if we get a point this week and you don't win, I still think we stay up because
So
I don't
would you
know.
take a point right now if I offered it to you?
No, because I want to be out of it. I think if we go into the game above, I don't think you come back up. But I think if we go within a point, I still think we do it because I think the pressure is just too much. And I don't think a lot of your players are. I think they're learning. I think they are learning. Like in the last couple of weeks, they're learning. But it could become too little too late. Our players know what they're in. They've been in it before.
This is bloody exciting, man. I can't lie to you, man. That final day of the
right
season.
word, mate. Exciting is
I
definitely
can't.
not the right word. It's
I mean,
Nicky, let me ask you this: do you think someone goes down on 40 points?
Yes.
You think we're both going to get to 40?
Yeah.
What about you, Wolfie? Do you think both Spurs and West Ham get to 40 points?
What are you on now?
We're on 38. We're on 38 and West Ham on 36.
No,
you're not getting 40.
No,
you're not getting 40.
We're not.
No, I don't think you are.
I don't think either of you do, to be honest.
I don't think we will. No, actually, as it happens, if we're on 36, I can see us winning these last two games. I really can. So we'll go 42, and you'll be 38. I don't think you win these last two.
You think we lose both these games?
Yep, I think I do. I really do. But then again, he has to.
He has to. Yeah.
I have to. Yeah, I have to. I have to think you lose these two games because
you've been protecting. We lose every week. We haven't lost for 4 weeks.
Who? Me?
Yeah, Spurs.
Yeah, well, I think you lose these last two. So,
do you not think we've been better under De Zerbi? You not think he's changed things for Tottenham at least?
Oh, brilliantly. He's been brilliant. He has been brilliant. I just think if he had the players available, I think it would be a totally different. Some of these players are just not. They're not the one to me. Like Richarlison.
James Maddison can make an impact.
I don't think this quickly. He's just come back from a long injury. It takes a little while to get back in. He would have done if he'd have come back 10 weeks ago. It'd have been key. I even think when I looked at the Leeds game, Solanke would have been key. The other geezer that went out, I can't forget his name now. He would have been key in these games.
Oh, that Mohamed Kudus. Is that his name, yeah?
6 months ago he went out. He should have been back after 4. So, he put. To be fair, I'm going to be honest with. All right, we'll give him that. He may have been a difference this year because he was a better player. I don't think you lose some of the games when the pressure is not so high.
It would have been quite poetic, wouldn't it, Nicky, if Mohamed Kudus came back to relegate you?
Would it be? It would be even better if West Ham relegated him after Spurs was in his heart.
Only Spurs.
Let's see how much. If you go down, this is the situation. This is the situation. Let's see how much Spurs is in his heart if you get relegated. Let's see that.
Wait, we didn't do predictions for Spurs.
Yeah,
let's do that. It should be interesting. Go on, boys. Your team. You kick us off.
Yeah, 1-1 for me. I think West Ham and Spurs both draw this weekend. I can't see us going and winning. I can't predict the loss. I just feel like maybe they're going to go into it a bit tired off the back of the FA Cup. I think it's going to be a raucous atmosphere. The fans are going to be completely behind them for once. And I think Spurs might start to feel a bit of the pressure, but I think Spurs go 1-0 up and maybe just succumb later on in the game. So I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 as well. I think I do think it's going to make a bit of a difference, the fact that Chelsea have that FA Cup game. Especially they're going to, if that goes extra time or something or whatever, their better players are going to be, if they win it, if they do win that game somehow, they could be partying for the next couple of days with not much to play for in the Premier League. I think but I just don't see Chelsea letting us come away with the victory. I can't see it. We just haven't won there for so long. I think even if we're winning going to latter stages, I agree with Ben. I can see us struggling to get over the line, and I think Chelsea will just find something extra. That's what I'm worried about. But I think if we draw and West Ham draw, I would take that scenario because I back us to get a point on the final day.
What sort of season from hell? If you could have painted the scenario of a season from hell, this is exactly what it looks like. A potential of getting relegated by West Ham, Chelsea the ones to stick the dagger in, wanting Arsenal to beat West Ham to win the title, we're potentially wanting Chelsea to win an FA Cup, so they're a bit on the beach when they play us. Not getting Morgan Gibbs-White over the line, he scores a hat-trick to keep Nottingham Forest safe. Not getting Eberechi Eze over the line, he scores 5 goals against you. Potentially Arsenal winning the Champions League as well. I mean, this is literally...
And potentially getting relegated by our former manager who we sacked after 3 months.
And nearly having your trophy stolen by your manager from last season who would have got a medal had he won it. Had Forest won it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking dirty to me now, Ben. You really are. I mean, it sounds like a beautiful season.
This is just meant. You just could not make it up.
For you, it's a nightmare season. For us, it's just seasons.
This is 25, 26.
Yeah.
Hey, at least Millwall lost, Nicky. Eh?
Yeah. Brilliant. In fact, I heard that this weekend, although the last it pissed me off, it was actually quite a good weekend with the game, the Leeds game, and then the Millwall game. It was brilliant. Funny enough, I was driving back from a shoot on Tuesday, and it was Tuesday or Monday. When did Millwall play at home?
It was
same day as us, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Monday. Same day as us. Yeah, Monday night.
So I leave the studio about 4:00, and I'm driving back, and I'm looking at the traffic building up, and I'm driving through. Now, if nobody knows me, I've got West Ham number plate, and I've got West Ham badges on the number plate, and I'm starting to drive through New Cross. Now I'm not even.
Hey, I agree. I lived there for a bit,
right? And then all of a sudden, the policeman stops me in the middle of the road. I'm in traffic. He pulls me over. I thought, oh, fuck, what have I done here? He goes, where are you going? I went, I'm going home. He goes, where do you live? I went, Wickford. He went, you're not parking that car around here, are you? I went, no. He goes, I'm going to tell you now. He goes, you turn right there. He goes, there's a pub full of fucking Millwall fans standing outside, and you've got West Ham number plates and there's traffic. Wherever you're going, turn left. All right. Could you imagine that? Imagine I turn up outside their fucking traffic, and I've got West Ham number plates.
Oh my god, that would be
good on your cross, mate.
What's your predictions then, guys?
My one is again dependent on the West Ham. I predicted West Ham to win, therefore I think you lose. However, I'll caveat it by saying if West Ham draw, you draw. If they lose, you win.
I've got 2 results written down in 2 different scenarios. If West Ham draw, I think it's 1-1. If West Ham win, I think it's 3-0 to Chelsea.
3-0. Does the FA Cup go into your thinking at all?
No. I think when it comes down to pressure games, I think it's better that they play before. I've been into these games before when teams have played on a Thursday and then we have to play on a Sunday, and you start to think, oh well, they'll be tired. I don't think so. I think at this stage of the season they're just going to battle through it, and they're the 2 results I've got. So listen, I might be wrong. I'm not the fucking Messiah, so it's not what I say, but I just got a feeling if we win and you're there, I just think the chance of putting a dagger in you lot will be very, very fucking with a crowd, and I think it's one of them ones where it could be fucking fierce, and I think the crowd lift them, and I
think they will be singing Tottenham get battered everywhere they go, because they all
Conor Gallagher going back to Chelsea for the first time in a Spurs
show. So
what scenario ends up where you're level on points? Would it be West Ham win and you draw? Have I got that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
West Ham win and we draw, then it goes down level on points. Yeah.
Oh, and a straight shootout on the final. Day.
So we're saying this from all your lot's perspective. There's very little chance it doesn't go down to the final day. You think no chance?
I think
no. If West Ham lose, I think
I'm saying there's little chance it doesn't.
If West Ham lose, I think you guys get it done because a point relegates them. Let's be honest, they're not going to make up a 10, 12 goal difference, whatever it is. So you're done. It's all this West Ham Newcastle or Newcastle West Ham game could be the biggest game of the season.
We're all Geordies, aren't we? We're all Geordies this weekend.
Not me.
Right. Just quickly, Wolfie. Going back to you.
Oh yeah, we're playing. as well.
I mean, forget. I mean, yeah. You who you playing United?
Maybe.
Who knows? We don't care anymore.
I was having this discussion with Ben after that result against Villa. What is your thoughts on Pereira? Does he get the full-time job? What do you think Marinakis will do with him?
I think Pereira's done a really good job. I think getting Forest to the semi-finals, okay, it still hurts, cuts deep. Cold light of day, clear, comfortable with loads of games to go. He's done what's been asked of him. Does Marinakis keep him? I personally think it depends on if he can get Marco Silva or not. I think Marinakis loves Marco Silva. Potentially, there's a chance. There's been a few reports from really bad sources, I have to say, saying that Marinakis is trying to move on Silva. My position on it is I would keep him unless he could get a quote-unquote upgrade. If it's the case,
you like going for our ex-managers, maybe you go for Thomas Frank.
that would be a downgrade.
Maybe he goes with the Zerbi.
In the summer, this whole I'm staying at the first thing.
But I'll guarantee you this: he's not going to have a Nuno. So
No, definitely not.
But no, I think Pereira should stay unless Marinakis has got something up his sleeve. But there's no way I'm calling for Pereira to go right now after what he's done. He's unified the fans, he's unified the players, he's unified the club, and that's when Forest work best. So
If he stayed, would he get a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal? Do you think?
He's only got 1 year left on the deal, so he signed under 18 months. My biggest
so you'd have to sack him if he. I thought it was up to the end of the season, so he's got an 18-month deal.
Yeah, there might be a break clause or something like that. So yeah, it would have to be a sacking or a break clause. My only worry about Pereira is he's not a long-term manager in any club he's been at. He's always been there on average, I think 17, 18 months. And Forest need to start building properly now. So is he the guy to do it? Maybe, maybe this is his new thing. But then look what he did at Wolves. First season, he won like 10 games or went undefeated in 10. They ripped the players out of his squads in the summer, and then he didn't win a game for Wolves this season. So I don't know. All I know is Forest have a lot of work to do off the pitch. A lot of work. Edu's going. That's pretty much done and dusted. He's been banned from the club. Forest need to.
No one wants him, do they? Let's be honest. Fucking hell.
Mate, bloody hell, man. He's just falling out with everyone. Yeah, if you don't want Nuno there anymore, just tell Sullivan to get Edu in. Him and Edu just don't see eye to eye.
We all hate our sporting directors, don't we? All of us.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a mess at the moment off the pitch, but Marinakis will sort it out. But yeah, in terms of I'm pretty sure we got United this week. I hate United. They're like outside of Derby, I hate them more than any other team, man. I can't
you
stand
hate everyone, man.
Yeah, you do it.
there's only a small list. Yeah, I love Forest basically, and that's it. So I don't know, man. I'm not that fussed about this game. I just get us to the end of the season. We need to start rebuilding from now because we know where we are.
Yeah. 0-0 written all over, I think.
I tell you what, Wolfie, I was tuning into your semi-final watch long. That was beautiful.
Absolute cinema.
That's exactly the words I
can't lie.
after the game.
I can't lie. I may be going through some copyright claims shortly.
And you won't even feel bad about it. You got to do what
you might be on the big screen at Villa if they win the Europa League.
Well, you know what? I've still got to sort that one out with Brentford, man. That was unauthorized.
We had one with Man City a few years ago. When Man City used our fan cam, and we had to go for a bit of a.
Where did they use it, Nicky?
They used it on an advert.
Really?
They've got to make it look like there's fans around that ground, Nicky.
No, we was at home, and it was when City beat us, and Dom, who isn't there anymore. He basically turned around and went, they're fucking boring. They're the most boring team that I've ever seen, even though they're winning every week. And they used that in a thingy. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, they were advertising something. So,
what, in their ground or was it on?
In their ground, on their social, everywhere. It's everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Interesting. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Coming up to the hour mark. Guys, hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you're a Forest fan, I hope you've been sitting there with some popcorn. Make sure you make sure you subscribed, and make sure you check out everyone's channel. It's all in the description there. And I can't wait till next week when we discuss what the hell has happened this weekend. Get your score predictions in as well for the 2 key games of the weekend. And we'll see you next week. Come on, you Reds.
Come on, you
Sorry,
Irons.
Spurs.